We go to the gentleman from Tennessee. Mr. Kustoff is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we do want to thank the witnesses for appearing today and indulging us when we had to take our recess earlier. Mr. Fisher, I do appreciate your comments that you made about the bill that I'll be introducing, the Securing Access to the Affordable Mortgage Act. And if I could, I'd like to ask you and Mr. Nichols, both if I could, as it relates to that. I think we can all agree that the American dream affords being able to purchase a home. Now, for many first-time homebuyers, that ability has become just that, out of reach for a number of them. Part of the problem is, my opinion, that in rural communities, and I represent West Tennessee, which is the Memphis area, but I've also got a lot of rural part of West Tennessee, we lack an adequate number of qualified appraisers. And under the current standards, as I think you all know and you've talked about, the cost associated with an appraisal on a real estate loan are high compared with the property's purchase price. If I could, Mr. Fisher, from your standpoint, from a real-world perspective, can you explain to us how the current home appraisal process has impacted mortgage loans on community banks like yours?
Sure, we're in a very small town, part of rural upstate New York. Spencer is a village of about 860 people. It was that in the year 2000. It was also that in the year 1900. So it's been pretty. I think there's different people, but the appraisal process it becomes difficult. We've definitely seen a reduction in the number of appraisers, certified appraisers that are available to do appraisals for us in some of our rural markets, which has increased the price and also delayed the delayed the turnaround time in getting an appraisal done. So it's lengthened the process, it's increased the cost to the borrower, and it's just, I'd say it has had a very negative impact on borrowers.
Thank you. And Mr. Nichols, can you talk about that perspective from a credit union perspective?
I can. So my question would be, have you ever heard of St. Elizabeth, Missouri? Jamestown, Missouri, Centertown, Missouri. Appraisers haven't either. You cannot get comps. That's a severe issue. So when you go to those more rural areas, to meet the secondary market guidelines that were established post-crisis, you cannot get reasonable comps. So it is a tremendous issue. Underwriting, we both share the same issues on trying to get a reasonable appraisal. A lot of the rules that came into the appraisal process were needed, and I think we have much better appraisal rules. However, the recognition that the cost of appraisals have gone up and the ability to get appraisers is really tough.
Thank you. And Mr. Fisher, going back to you for a moment, if you could wave a magic wand and create a standard for appraisals for properties, how would you craft it? What dollar limit would you look at? What would be the criteria that you would look at to make it fair?
I think your proposal to have a $250,000 limit on a loan is very reasonable to be able to do an in-house evaluation on, or in-house, some type of an independent review of that property value. I think that would definitely make the process less expensive, quicker, and still, most of those loans were portfolioing anyways, so the risk falls on us to do a proper evaluation. So.
You may have said, what is the population of your community?
The county that I live in is about 50,000 people, Tioga County. It's the population of the town of Owego is probably about 10,000. So,
thank you, Mr. Nichols. I'll ask you the same question. If you could craft a law, create a standard, what would it look like?
Again, I do agree with 250,000 for in-house loans, and again, that local expertise that we can rely on is very valid, and we understand the risk involved there and understand the properties.
Thank you very much. I yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you.